looking for someone to talk to.
No, really, no.
Why
Thank you.
not?
I just thought I'd tell you, I really
All
like
right.
the show though. It's great. Thanks.
Thanks very much.
I watch it all the time. It's one of the best shows on television. I really enjoy it.
Glad you enjoy it.
Yeah, because it teaches you that people aren't just a face, you know.
You're always
there's a lot of
surprised, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you see people and you think, wow, they've got this magnificent story to tell.
Yeah.
I really enjoy
Not
it.
what you expect.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really good. But no, I've always thought, oh no.
Yeah.
I would, but I'm just too shy.
Too shy.
Yeah, I'd get all silly. So.
Do you?
I hope you find someone.
Thanks.
I don't want to go because I need to catch a bus, but there's another one.
Is there another one?
That I can catch, yeah.
That's good. What's your name?
Lisa.
Lisa. Hi, Lisa. Where were you catching the bus to?
Out to my mum's place, actually.
Yeah? You're going to visit your mum?
Yeah.
Special occasion or?
No, she's had my little one for about 3 days now. She's been giving me a break.
Your little one?
Yeah, she's 3 in about a week.
What's her name?
Jemima.
Jemima. Where did you get the name?
It was the only name that we could decide on together that we both liked.
Together being father?
Father, yes. Her father and I. It's the only one. Yeah. We both sort of came up with different names, and we just sort of, it was the one that Stephen went, Jemima. And I just went, yeah, that's it. Yeah. So that was the only one we decided on.
Tell us about Stephen.
Stephen, well, we've been together about 5 years.
Yeah.
And well, we're having I don't know, there's a few problems going on at the moment. We're going to separate for a little while, but we're still going to be in contact. We're not separating just to get away from each other for a little while. We're bad influence on each other, I think. Yeah.
You bring out
the worst in each other. Yeah. But we're going to get some counselling, and because we don't want to just throw it away. We've had it for 5 years now, so we
You
don't
like each other, but you fight.
Absolutely. Yeah, we love each other, but we fight too much. So.
What do you clash over? What other things?
Well, it's not so much that we clash.
You
it's
irritate
more,
each other?
Yeah, sometimes, but we, like I said, we're a bad influence on each other. We both have substance abuse history, and we're just bad influence on each other. So we're both trying to become straight adults. In the word straight, I mean drug-free.
Yes.
And because, I mean, we've got a child, for God's sake. We can't keep doing this. So, yeah, we're just going to separate for a little while.
Right. What makes you think that you'll be able to do it separately?
Because, like I said, we're bad influence on each other, and we're going to get outside help, like counselling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're both on the methadone program, so we're getting help that way, but that's just one, you know, stitch in the blanket, if I may say. You know what I mean? There's a lot more than just that. You know, you can't just sort of say, oh, I'll be on the methadone program and everything will be okay now, but it just doesn't work like that.
That's not a quick
Absolutely
program.
Not. It's a Band-Aid, but it's, you know, and 80% of the people who are on it don't really want to get off it either, but I do. I've only been on it for about 6 months, and it's time to get off.
How did you start using?
Stupidity. I don't know.
Just a moment of weakness?
Yeah, just wanting to know. It was sort of the only thing that I hadn't tried, and it was the one thing. Heroin was the one thing that I said no, I won't. But there's been this huge explosion of it. It's just everywhere. You know, 6, 7 years ago, you just couldn't find it. You know, you could find your dirty junkies on the street, that sort of thing. But it's just everywhere. I mean, in the news, you see it everywhere now too. But it's just so prevalent, and it's so easy to get now. And when you first start using it, it's so cheap. But then it's just such a trap, you know. It's got you before you know it.
Is that the worst? Is that the one thing you got to beat?
Absolutely, yeah. That's really all it is, and methadone, because it's funny, you know, if we could have been strong enough and just got off heroin, we would have been fine, because we could have got off that in 7 days, got some counselling for 6 months or so, and we would have been fine. But for me to stop using methadone, it's going to take me 4 or 5 months to get off it. I can't just stop.
And you can't just stop heroin?
Well, you can, but no one's ever died from withdrawals of heroin, but you can certainly get much sicker with withdrawals of methadone because of the half-life and sort of all of that rubbish, you know.
So what were you like before?
Before what?
Before you started using, were you different?
I mean, I smoke a little bit of pot and that sort of thing, but
No, I mean as a person, your personality.
No, I think I was a little bit stronger. It's really crushed me quite a bit. I've always been a sort of talkative, active person, but I think it's made me, well, I don't know, you lie and you cheat, you knock your grandmother over for a buck if you're that bad, you know, and you just never thought you could be like that, you know, especially when you've got a child and you think, God, what am I doing? You know, and you just, it's just such a trap, and it's such a circle of just waiting for you, ringing up, waiting for your drugs. Then you wait for the dealer to turn up, and they're usually about 2 hours late. Then you get it. Once you've had it, you're thinking about when you're going to get the next one. It's just horrible. It's just a horrible trip.
So really your whole life is focused on that?
That's right. That's all it is, you know, and that's all it is. And I'm truthful to myself in the way that my daughter didn't get the emotional support that she should have got. Luckily, she was young, so I can sort of... I'm not justifying it by any means, but I can try and rectify the damage that has been done. She was always clean, fed, you know, washed, that sort of thing, but that's not always so important as what's going on in their mind and that sort of thing.
What about your mum? I mean, she's...
She's been really good considering she's a born-again Christian, my parents are, so in a way it's good and in a way it's been bad. In a way it's been good because they're forgiving and considering the things that I've done to them, they're very good in that way, but they've sort of put their foot down now. They just want me to get help, and they said, you know, if you're not going to get help, you know, we've got to go to family services. You know, and I mean, that's just the way it is, you know, and I can understand where they're coming from because they can't just see me keep doing this to myself, and Jemima's in the background, and as much as I say to, you know, I never used in front of Jemima, I'm not that stupid, but she still knows what's going on. She's smart, you know, I never used anything during my pregnancy. She's a very healthy child, you know, and she's very smart. She, you know, she knows what's going on without even having to see it. So, you know, and I can understand where my parents are coming from. They sort of said, right, you get help, or this is what's going to happen.
Describe Stephen for us, seeing that we haven't met him. What does he look like?
You'll probably laugh, but actually, in a photo that I saw when he was younger in high school, actually looked like Kevin Bacon. It was quite funny, we tease him about it. Yeah. He's like, I do not, you know, he gets quite aggro about it. And then someone else said he looks like one of the boys, the lead singer out of Oasis. So sort of a mix between that. I don't know, you know, but he's just, I don't know, he's about my height, a little bit taller, brown hair. What do you say? Light skin, brown eyes.
Yeah. Good chin, good nose.
Yeah.
You like all these bits, obviously.
That's right. Yeah, I love him dearly, but we have to, for our own sakes.
And you think it'll work?
Yeah, well, it has to work. I mean, it will work if we want it to. You know, last night we were lying in bed and I was a bit upset and we'd had a little bit of, you know, a few angry words, and I sort of said to him, you know, do you really want to let go of what we've got? Because if you do, then that's fine, just be honest with me, because we've always been really honest with each other, you know, we've had a really honest relationship. And he said, no, I don't. And I said, are you sure about that? Because if you're starting to feel like you can't love me anymore, you know, you've got to tell me now, because it's better now for all of us, you know. And he said, no, you know, I think what's happened is, it's like what I said to him, that the heroin and the methadone and the crap that goes along with it has filled our lives so much that there's no room for anything else. So it's quite hard to even try to love anybody else because there's so much happening in your life, you know, so it's still there, it's just been sort of pushed right down inside.
Have you decided how long you're going to be separated? We're going to play by ear.
Yeah, we're sort of playing about 3 months at the moment, you know, but you know, he'll see me every weekend. You know, he doesn't want to be apart from Jemima, and he'll want to see me, but he works during the week anyway, so I'd probably work out better anyway, so I'll live with Mum and Dad's, and then he can just sort of work, and he'll have a friend move in to help him with the rent, and you know, it should be good, and I can save money while I'm at my parents as well and try and get ourselves out of the debt we've got ourselves into. So yeah.
You look optimistic about it?
I have to be. I can't give up. That's what, you know, about 3 or 4 days ago I was going, that's it, I've had enough. The next time I get money, I'm just going to Sydney and I don't care what I do, and you know, but I have to be. You can't, I mean, I'm an adult now, I can't keep acting like a child. That's what Jemima would do. I'm leaving, turn around and walk out the door, you know. Yeah. But I've got to grow up sometime, and I think the time is now. It doesn't mean that I have to be all, you know, staid and I'm all grown up now, Miss Maturity, but you know, I have to start taking responsibility for what I do and not keep blaming everybody else, I think. Scary, but yeah.
Time for a few minutes on your way to work.
Yeah, sure.
Are you on your way to work?
I am actually. Yeah, I'm a bit late.
What do you do?
I'm not late. I run a program called Big Sister Big Brother program,
which is helping people who are
working with children between the ages of 7 and 17, and what we do is we match them up with adults, volunteers from the community.
So these are people who have a family domestic problem?
I wouldn't always say they have domestic problems. I mean, each child's circumstances are different.
Right.
Most of them come from sole parent families, and God, I'm feeling quite nervous here suddenly being stopped like this.
Well, don't worry about it.
That's all right. Yeah, the kids come from all sorts of different backgrounds, but all of them really are looking for some sort of adult friendship and support in their life.
How do they end up?
How do they come onto the program?
Yes.
They refer to the program either from a parent who hears about us and thinks that their child could really do with that extra friendship outside the family, or a lot, maybe about half, come from professionals, school counsellors, Department of Community Services, family support workers who refer these children onto us.
And is the program government funded?
Partly government funded. We don't get as much as perhaps we ought to, but we do get some money from the Department of Community Services, and the rest we've got to scrounge, which is becoming increasingly hard. I think it's very competitive out there. A lot of corporate money, I think, is going into Olympics sponsorship rather than sponsoring programs like ours.
Why do you do it?
Well, I started off as a big brother on the program, so I used to work in the kind of business community, and then became involved as a volunteer over 4 years ago, and then sort of over time, I suppose, made this transition to working in the community sector.
So you were, as a big brother, you were a mentor to...
Yeah, to a
kids,
boy, to one particular boy. It's always just one-on-one.
Yes.
And I've known Robert for about 4 years, and I guess through my involvement, my friendship with him, when an opportunity came to work on the program, I decided to sort of jump ship and move over to...
How did you make that connection? How did you first become big brother to Robert?
I sort of heard about the program and just contacted them, and then you go through a fairly lengthy screening process for obvious reasons and training, and then you get matched up, and I was matched up with this particular
Do you remember what it was that first motivated you to want to do this?
I think it was a sort of dissatisfaction with what I was doing at the time, and a feeling of that I wasn't getting an awful lot of enjoyment or much satisfaction out of what I was doing, and felt that it had to be sort of a bit more. And I think that a lot of our daily lives are fairly self-centered, and I suppose I have a sense that we're better off if we're connected. In many ways we're living in an unconnected age, and if we can make those connections, I think we all benefit from them.
Obviously, your family was a caring environment. You're obviously a caring person. Where did you grow up? What sort of...
In Scotland.
What part?
Just north of Edinburgh, a place called Dunfermline.
How did you end up here?
How'd I end up here? Good question. I came 10 years ago on one of those working holiday things. I thought I'd sort of pack my bag and travel the world a bit, and lo and behold, I'm sort of still here. I met my wife here 10 years ago.
When you arrived?
Not long after I arrived. And then she came across to Scotland. After the end of the year, I went back and she joined me, and she spent about a year and a half over there with me.
Were you married at that stage?
No. But we, and then we came back. I guess emigrated 8 years ago. Yeah.
And got married here?
Yeah, I got married 3 years ago here, up in the mountains.
What is your wife's name?
Jeannie.
Jeannie. And yours?
Robbie.
Robbie. Robbie and Jeannie. Robbie. Well, Robbie is a most unusual Scottish name, isn't it?
Certainly not, no. And she's, Jeannie's a Scottish name that she took from my grandmother. But
she took from your grandmother?
From her grandmother,
from her.
who was Scottish as well.
Oh, is she?
But her mother is Vietnamese, so she's obviously half
Vietnamese, half Scottish. It's an unusual mixture.
There's a bit of German in there as well somewhere.
And
typical Australian.
Yes. And you?
I'm not as interesting as
you're a Wallace, descendant of William Wallace, perhaps.
I would like to think so.
At least spiritually.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Speaking of which, what you do is a kind of a caring, humanistic thing. Do you have any formal religious leanings?
No, I don't. No, in fact,
You were not brought up in a strict Scottish?
Not in the streets. I mean, I was brought up in a Episcopalian background. It's not something that I guess I've taken on or continued. I suppose my beliefs are that, as far as I'm aware, this is it, and we've got to make the best of it. And you know, if we're kind of try and look after each other, and it makes it a lot easier for us all.
What about the rest of the time when you? I mean, it's a very demanding and draining kind of work, I guess. It takes it out of you. What do you do to relax? Chase flies around Australia.
I know. I cycle. I cycle quite a lot.
With Ginny?
No, she's not too keen on cycling. I read a lot, and I think I'm fairly good at not taking work issues home. I think you've got to, in working in a kind of an environment where you're dealing with people, and especially often people's problems, I think you've got to be very disciplined at letting go of those, or you just become burnt out and exhausted and cynical and tired.
So when you go home, you don't sort of say, you know, what happened today. You ask her what she did today. Yeah. I mean, I tend not to want to talk too much about.
No. If I need to, I can. Yeah. But
what does she do?
She's a speechwriter for the Premier for Bob Carr.
All right. So she doesn't want to take the work home either, I suspect.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. She writes as well. She I guess her big thing at home is that she writes. She's writing a novel.
Yes.
So that's her escape. That's how she escapes. Yeah.
Do you have? I mean, you don't seem to have a lot in common.
I think we've got a lot in common actually. What do we have in common?
Not bicycling, not work.
No, but we
as people,
I think we're very compatible as people, and we both love reading. We both love movies, theatre. We're fairly.
What about your temperaments? Because your temperament would need to be fairly even, wouldn't it? You would have to have an even temperament to pass the screening test to be a big brother, I guess.
Yeah. I think it has to be. It certainly helps in this job to have a fairly even temperament, and I think you've got to be able to stay calm in a crisis, because occasionally there are crises in this sort of job. And she's a very calm person as well. She's somebody who's fairly calm. So I think in terms of temperament, we're.
What happens when you have a disagreement? Is it calm and civil and?
Oh, is anyone like that? What happens if we have a disagreement? We're normally able to talk it through. I mean, like any couple, you have your moments. But I think we've always been able to work through those, and the disagreements haven't been huge. I mean, I think that we share very similar values, and I think if you share similar values, your disagreements tend to be superficial. You're not disagreeing about major life stuff.
Yes.
You might disagree on whose turn it is to do the ironing, but you can usually.
Which of course you probably do. Whose turn is it today or this week?
I'm sure it's mine. Almost certainly.
I need that bull over here. What's that? He'd be nice in the pot.
Oh, frying pan.
Is this your dog?
Yep.
What's his name?
Oh, a lot of funny names when it all depends how I feel.
Oh yeah. What are you calling him today?
Well, I just can't tell him to get up, or he'll wait for me to get up,
Oh yeah.
I'll go.
Yeah. Are you local?
Yeah, yes. I've been here for donkey's ages,
Can I sit down?
Yeah, of course. I'll move you out me.
Right. How long did you say you've been here?
Oh, about 12 to 15 years.
Yeah, and before that?
I've lived in Honton. I done my butcher and bacon then. I went to the railway.
Yeah.
And then I got a old age pension and I'm about here now.
Where were you born?
Crane.
Where?
Crane Hospital.
Where is that?
That's between here and Croy. Between Yeah, here in Pomeranz.
Why did you settle here? Did you like it here? Did you just have nowhere else to go?
Well, I'm a single and I just, I got sick and tired of Taunton. Well, I used to stay down with the sisters and I got sick and tired of them, and I said, bugger it, I'll get where I'm by myself. Well, I get here and I lose my bloody caravan and I had to turn around and all my life saving and I had to turn around and buy another bloody caravan.
How'd you lose the caravan?
Well, I had a stack of wire and it was wrapped on a bloody tank stand and the wind kept blowing it and I never stopped to think about to have a look to see what the bloody thing was like, Poof. I'm down here and they said, Maggie, your caravan's on fire. And I said, oh, big bucket, I said, how the hell could it go on fire, I said, I switched everything off before I come here. I get up on top of the hill up here near the school and I looked down and I said, I'll turn around and come back, and I said, oh, well, I said, I'll have another beer now. I said, my burnt caravan's burnt down. No good to crying over spilt milk, you couldn't. Yeah. Well, once it's burnt, well, it's burnt, isn't it?
It is. You've been around, you travelled around a bit, around the country?
Oh, well, I know where between here and, say, Maryborough, but I don't...
Not around the rest of the country?
No, I don't. I'm not a very... Well, I haven't got a car. No, everywhere
I mean before, during the rest of your life, before you got here?
Well, no, I never... No, I never... I might have went to Brisbane or some bloody place like that, because when I was working in the railway, see, and you could use your railway pass anywhere you wanted to go.
Yeah.
But, wasn't interesting.
Yeah.
And everywhere you go, your hand's in your pocket, isn't it?
Yeah.
You go say to Maryborough, you've got to stay at a hotel or a boarding house.
Yeah.
Well, there's half your money gone before you know what I mean? And,
yeah. So have you always been single?
Yeah, I'm going to stay too. I'm 69 now. I got the old age pension and I'm going to stay at that way.
Yeah.
Till the day I die.
You never flirted with the idea of having a lady in your life?
Nah, well, yes, I used to, but I got caught too many bloody times.
Did you?
I had a stack of money in the bloody bank. Because I was working in the railway and I was getting good money in there. And I said, oh, well, she blew through and she left my bank book there. And I said, oh, well, I'll go and get some money out of my bank. He laughed at me and he said, you know how much you got in the bank, sport? And I said, how much? He said, 5. He said, you've got a whole 5. I said, with all the bloody money he said, if it's a woman coming in and signed a signature and your signature, and we were silly enough to give it to her. And it was like, he said, look, fair dinkum, it was that damn ridgy. He said, we even put it under light, and it was that ridgy, he said, what else could you, we thought you signed it, and so I just, well, what can I do, she shot through and I don't know where she is, I don't want to find her, if I ever find her, I'll look out.
When was that?
Oh, this is a damn long time ago, and I don't think I've ever had a bloody woman since.
I don't think I can blame you. Do you remember her name? Her first name?
Violet.
Violet.
Yeah, I had a bloody tattoo on, but I soon got that off me bloody arm.
Is your dog your best friend now?
He is, and the only one too, the best.
Yeah?
He is.
What about the rest of the blokes here in
like they all talk, like, they're friendly jokers, but
yeah.
I don't, I'll say good day to anyone, like, I don't stop anyone,
Yeah. And you're in good health, so...
Oh, well, except my bloody eye.
For your eye? Yeah.
I've been to a bloody eye down here to Maroochydore, and what did he say? It cost, a bloody ridiculous price to get the eye taken out and a new little seashell put in the back of it.
Oh, yeah. So is that eye blind?
Oh, this one's completely blind.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can only half see it. And I'm going, this one, I'll have to get it fixed up sooner or later.
Because it just gradually went, did it?
Yeah, well, it's completely had it now. I might as well have nothing there at all.
Yeah. but that wasn't always like that.
No, it just, a bloody glow, I reckon, done that, because my old mum used to have bloody birds by the glue, and she wanted this glow cut, a wing cut. So I said, righto, so I went out and caught the bloody thing, and I was just ready to cut the wing, and the bloody thing fastened under me.
Yeah?
And I just went blank. It just must have hurt something in the eye,
What about your finger? Where'd you lose your finger?
Well, I lost that. It's another funny bloody story. I I was staying with an old chook down, a lady, down at Noosaville, and I had these German whistleless canaries. So one day this bloody cat kept gnawing birds every night, you know, and I said, oh, I'll fix you up, you so-and-so, you know. So I grabbed a rifle, just ready to pull the trigger, and it was a hair trigger bloody thing too.
Yeah.
And the thing's in the Noosa River now. And after I shot my finger off, of course. Or I didn't shoot it off, I blew all the guts out of me. I couldn't straighten it or anything. We got to take it off.
Yeah.
And I got the bloody rifle and I went down to the river, and she's still in the river there as far as I'm concerned. It'll bloody stay there too. I said, the hair trigger rifle's no bloody good to me. Oh, it was too dangerous, these shoes. Like, you only bump it a little bit and poof, and, you know, it'd go off, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought, buggy, I don't want you no more sport.